Hey everyone, Sparks back with an Echocalypse video, and this is my first video covering this game. I've been playing it for the last few days and I've really been enjoying it. I know a lot of my audience are Nikkei players, but I play a couple of other mobile games on stream, and I used to cover some Destiny Child, some videos in the past, and I've been looking for a second game to play for a while, and I think this just might be filling in that niche for me. So in this video, I want to give you just kind of like a brief overview of the game, introduction to like how combat works, the summoning, how to level up your characters, what I like about the game, and what I don't like about the game. And I'll definitely be making at least a few more videos for this in the future, and if you guys are interested, I'll continue to cover the game more and more. So a couple of things just to give you like a little bit of perspective on this. It feels kind of similar vibes to me as like Epic 7. I played it briefly back in the day when it first launched, and I did enjoy it, but I was just like too busy at that point with other things in life to really get into the game. And then I've heard people also compare this to Illusion Connect, which I think is no longer in service, but I know it was a pretty popular long-running game before it went end of service, I think just last year. And then I've also heard it like, well, I actually haven't heard it compared to this, but from what I've seen, it also feels a little similar to Cross-Core in some aspects. Cross-Core, I think, is only a CN game at the moment, and I feel like this is probably like a better version of that type of game from what I've seen so far. Another thing to keep in mind is that I think this is kind of like a pretty casual game. It's got a really interesting world and it has great visuals. It's a lot of like auto combat though things, but I've been really enjoying it. So there is no official global version, so that's probably the biggest thing to keep in mind here. Currently I am on the C server, which has kind of been treated as the global version, and you can play the full game in English. It's all completely, like, there's no translations or anything you need to do. It runs smoothly, it's not slow, anything like that. So there has been a global community on the C server for a long time, and the game came out like right before Nikkei, so it's basically like a year old. And there is a global version coming. It's going to officially launch on the 14th of December, unless it gets pushed back, who knows. So it's up to you if you want to hold out for the official global launch or jump in on the C server. We're still in the middle of first anniversary celebrations where they're rerunning a lot of really cool units. If not, there will be the global server. I might do another account when global officially launches as well, in just under a month, but I'm not afraid to like keep building up here on the C server for the moment anyway, because it is completely in English. Okay, so let's talk about the actual game modes. The first one we'll talk about is combat. So combat, like I said, is pretty like auto-focused. You're not going to have direct control over any of your units. It's kind of like a turn-based system, but in auto. And so like based on like where those units are positioned, they'll kind of like take turns taking actions with either normal attacks or more special moves, and along with the enemies taking their turns as well. This part is kind of like during the tutorial that I showed you, and so it's like got these little like cutscenes in the middle of it because we're fighting like a boss here. And you can see that the special ability meter is building up. They got HP meters up on top there, and then you have these slots down in the lower right where I think they're called relics or something, I don't remember actually. But this gauge is building up, and each one of those requires like 2 or 4 or whatever the number is for that specific relic to then trigger, and it'll have like a big ability, either like damaging the whole field or possibly healing all of your units. Different things, might stun them, all kinds of things. And you can choose when to use those manually, or you can just set them up in an order and they'll just activate as soon as the gauge builds up enough to activate them. And then each of those abilities has a cooldown, so the next one won't activate until it's like ready to cool down, and so on and so forth. So the strategy I think is going to come from like where you position your units, and like probably manually using those things, those abilities in the lower right, or maybe choosing like what order you actually put those in. Combat, it's like very chill. It's cool though when they use their abilities. You get like a little cutscene that's like you know, like the hand-drawn anime style, and I really do enjoy that. You can also play it in either like 1x speed, 2x speed, or 3x speed. And additionally, if there's a stage that's not like a major stage or a boss or something, and you like are strong enough, you can just quick battle and skip it immediately. So it works very similarly to like the Lost Sector battles in Nikkei, where if you're strong enough and it's like a minor battle, you can just skip it, but then there are other certain ones you actually need to play out and fight all the way. The next thing that we should take a look at is summoning. So summoning is, you know, kind of what you would probably expect, honestly. You can use these like little red crystal things, and those are kind of story significant as well, but I won't get too much into the story other than that it's kind of like set in like kind of a post-apocalyptic type world, and you're trying to save your sibling who is now like trapped in a crystal, and they'll kind of leave it at that. But it is actually a really interesting world and pretty interesting story so far. But yeah, so for summoning, you're going to use these red crystal things, and it's called drawing in this game, and you'll unlock more banners to draw from, but at first you'll just have this advanced draw. It's going to force you to do a one-time summon at the beginning, and you know, you'll get an SR unit probably, something like that. And then you can do 10-time summons, of course, in the future, and do different banners. And I would recommend saving your resources for those future banners as they come, because there's a lot of really cool things. And like I said, we're in the middle of an anniversary event where they're rerunning really good characters. One particularly spicy one is coming up next week, so keep that in mind. So now let's talk about actually leveling up your characters. So you can do something called breakthrough, which is kind of like the duplicate system, and of course that's going to benefit the unit in various ways and make them stronger. You're going to need more copies of these like biochips as you pull duplicates of the units. And I've only done this very slightly, of course, because I just started. I don't have a lot of duplicates. The other way to power up your characters is through just basic level up. So when you level up, you're going to use like these like cassette tape things, and all the units are called cases in this game. I don't really know what that means, but you'll use these cassette tapes to level them up. And you'll notice, I think you actually kind of level up the slots. So you'll see I only have 4 slots available at this point in the game. You unlock more slots eventually, pretty quickly actually. I now have actually 6 unlocked, which is the total number of units you can deploy at once. But you level up the slot rather than the individual unit. So similar to Nikke, like you only ever have to level up 5 units. In here, it looks like you only ever have to level up 6 units. So that's pretty cool. The other way to improve your units is going to be through augment. So when you augment the unit, again, it's going to take a different type of resource, and that's going to like increase certain skills of theirs and attributes, as well as some of their basic stats as well. So you kind of have like 3 different ways of improving those units. And this game has a lot of good quality of life things. You can see like if you're short on a resource, you can tap on it, and you might just be able to like do a search and like quick battle wherever you can farm that resource and get it in that manner, which is pretty cool. I love that they're thinking about like ways to make the game easier. Other fun little things along the way, you'll have like random little like mini games and ways to interact with the units. Like here we're healing Sova by I don't know, tapping boobas, and then other times you'll like pick up treasure chests where the 3D animations are pretty cool looking actually, and you'll like tap the individual items to collect them, and they pop up to see what you got. It's pretty cool rather than just like hitting collect and like you get everything, you know? Another thing, if you're ending up whaling in the game, there is a ton of very cultured skins that you can get for all of these units. Some of them are super spicy. One of my personal favorites is for a unit called, let's see, where is she? Levia. So she is the unit that I was referring to earlier. She's going to be re-released. She's a limited unit, but will be re-released next week. And she looks good even in her base form, but looks even better with her special skin. So if you are a waifu collector, this game is top tier for that. So for me, it's like the perfect secondary game because I'm already like, you know, really a main Nikke player, and I want something that's just kind of more casual to play, and I've really enjoyed the world. And for me, it's been something like kind of fresh and new, and I've really been enjoying it. And I think you can really potentially fill a content creator gap because I've found very little stuff here on YouTube. Not a lot of people are covering this, and so I'm like happy to like maybe provide some content for people that are fans of this game, and maybe like get some more people into it. So it came out right before Nikkei, and then like Honkai Star Rail came after that, etc. And so I think it just didn't get a lot of attention because these major games came out right around it. But I do think that it's worth checking out, and you know, you can check out more content for it here in the future. It is doing pretty well. You know, I've heard that it's making between like 350 to 450,000 each month, which shows that it's in a very healthy place. Again, it's not like a crazy, you know, top charts game like Nikkei, but that's definitely a healthy place for a game to be at. So let me know if you have any questions about the game. I'm going to be doing more videos on it in the future. Of course, Nikkei is still my main thing. For those of you that stick around to the end of the video, I have some codes for you. So you can see them up here on the screen right now. If you start playing the game right now, make sure you enter these codes. You can get some really good rewards. One of them there, I think the B4H1, might expire today. This might be the last one on publishing of this video. And then you got 2 others there at least if you're watching the video later on. So make sure you collect your rewards if you're going to start right away, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. My next one will probably be a Snow White review for Nikkei, for Small White, and then we'll probably do some more Echocalypse videos after that. All right, catch you guys in the next video or the next stream.